Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to do a video on performing research. I suppose today most people will be doing their research online. 30 years ago we didn't have that. What I had was an ad at the back of a TV guide magazine, and basically all it was a classified ad. And so I would find myself going back to that same ad over and over again because I was my thinking was I needed to have this procedure. And the reason being was the hair was coming out in my hands and people were making a few comments. And so the more I went back to this ad, the more I felt like I had to make an appointment. And from there it was downhill. We didn't have the information, and as far as ending up as a repair patient, after that I relied on information that was in basically fitness magazines, not understanding that these doctors were running ads in these same magazines and that the articles were worded in such a way that were meant to entice young guys that were losing hair. Basically, just a one-sided view of what a hair transplant was. So basically, what you're seeing today online is the same thing, although the perception may be different. Most especially with online forums, many people researching believe that they're having a conversation with not only those that have put this forum together, whether it be the moderators, the administrators, people that work in the industry, but young guys that are patients just like themselves or prospective patients. What they don't realize is most of this is just made up, and the conversation usually goes one way, whether it's an online forum or a website. And so what you find yourself in is what's described today as an echo chamber. Everything going in one direction, and the more you keep going back to that information, that repetition is what pulls you in, because the information is going in one direction. If you were to watch it long enough, most especially with the online forums, what you're going to see is you're going to see a horror case coming forward. In fact, I just saw one the other day. A young guy in his 20s went out to Turkey, had a procedure done, and the back of his head is completely devastated. The donor area, it looks like, it looks like he has 30% of his hair remaining. So it would be equivalent to being a chemotherapy patient. And so how long will that posting be up before the people running the forum try and pull it down? Because they don't really want you to see it. They just want you to see the good stuff, or what they can try and put out there. All the bad stuff is removed. Is this marketing fraud? Of course it's marketing fraud, because they're trying to trick you into having a procedure by removing information that you need, that's necessary in order to make an informed decision. You can't make an informed decision if a forum is removing the information, if they're removing all the negative stuff. That is marketing fraud. So if you know about it, what you can do is you can kind of watch these online forums or online websites over a long period of time. And then if you catch it on the right day, you're going to see that posting by that patient that's been completely devastated. Many of these guys end up feeling suicidal. So this is the biggest danger of the research that you're doing online, is that you fall into this trap of what is mind control. That's all, the only way it can be described, because it's that repetition. Repetition is mind control. It's used in the media all the time, and that's what these guys do. These guys that are online, that you believe are working for your benefit, they're working for themselves. Plain and simple. And if you understand the math of this procedure and how limited it is, then it all begins to make sense. Because if you really understood the procedure, I would say the majority of people are not going to sign up for it. Because long term, for most guys with major hair loss, it's going to end up, they're going to end up worse off. So they have to kind of hide the truth. That's the only way. So you have to really, really be careful. And that's the biggest danger. And so my suggestion would be to observe over a very, very long period of time. If you don't observe over a long period of time, you're not going to pick up on any of this. And outside of that, you have to see, like I always say, you have to see patients in person. A very high Norwood, that means someone that's lost all their hair. They're a Norwood 6. All this hair is gone. They had a hair transplant. If you see 10 guys like that, there's a good chance 10 of those guys, all the results are going to look like crap, especially in harsh lighting. Maybe there might be one guy that, hey, okay, that looks okay, looks pretty good. You know, it's that thick caliber of hair that's thin and see-through. It doesn't look right. I'm not lying to you. You have to see it in person, and once you see it in person, that's when you start thinking twice. So when you go in for an appointment, if you decide to ever do a consultation, you have to tell the doctor you want to see these patients. And chances are these patients are not even going to come in because they're ashamed themselves. And so outside of that, then you ask the doctor about the math. Tell me what the math is. Explain the math to me. How much donor do I have long term, and how much hair am I going to lose? You want to get that on paper. If the doctor says you're going to lose 50,000 hairs, and the best we can do is give you 15,000 hairs back, that sounds like an honest answer to me. So you're going to write that down, and then you're going to think about it. But if a doctor's going to tell you that you know, you're going to lose 20,000 hairs, and we could bring back 18,000 or whatever the numbers are, that's not a realistic number. So that what that tells you is that this is a dishonest doctor, and he's lying to you straight in your face, lying to you, telling you a lie. And so it's only when you are armed with information, most especially with the math, that you can kind of figure out, is this guy being honest with me or not? So you know the math. Now you ask the doctor, and let's see what the doctor says. And then right away you know this guy he's full of crap. And if you start asking too many questions, most doctors are not going to work on you because they know that you're going to be a potential problem because you know too much. It's just the way it is. Very limited procedure as far as what can be accomplished. Everything you see on YouTube here, well, like I say, it's all marketers. They're out there to make a buck. So be careful, and I'll see you on the next video.